Hello everybody and welcome back to another pFsense video. In today's video I'm just going to go over a couple of basics, like for example user management, group management, and notifications, which ironically is actually what we're going to go over in this video. So if you've been paying attention to any other of my pFsense videos previously, you'll see here that I have a pFsense box pre-made. If you want to create this exact same one, you're more than welcome to. Just watch my previous two videos on the setting up of pFsense to mimic a Netgate video, Netgate 3100 I think it was, and the firewall setup for all of them. Because if you know, WAN is set up, LAN set up, but these two have nothing. You gotta pretty much write them out yourself. So in that case being, we're gonna go ahead and get this this party going. So go ahead, log into here, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into our pFsense here. We're going to type in admin, and we're going to log into our admin account. All right, so the first thing is first, we're going to go to Systems and User Management. Now, everything's all nice in here, so what we're going to do here is we're going to just go ahead and just create a new user. Perfect. I don't know if I spelt it right, I never usually do. But I'm just going to go ahead and just copy and paste that. Probably should pick a different name. All right, type in the password you want. Type in the full name of the user. Oops. Long night. Okay, so now you have here an expiration date. So if this is a person that's not going to be with you very long or temporarily, please set an expiration date. If you would like, say for example, if they're going to be with you until the 9th of June, you would set it to the 9th of June. Okay, if they go log in that day, I believe it's set to midnight that night. So on 6/10, they will be locked out. But this user, we're just going to go ahead and delete the expiration date because they're going to be here for a while. Or maybe we might make a user with an expiration date later. Who knows? All right, custom settings is for the GUI and the dashboard. This is a preference. I don't touch this because I want all of them to be the same. Okay, group memberships. So if you're creating a new admin, an actual admin account, which we'll do again in a few minutes, you would want to go ahead and add this to the list. But in this case being, we just want this user to pretty much be blank. And the same thing here with the authorized SSH keys and the pre-shared keys. If you have these ready for this specific user, you can go ahead and put them in here and it'll go register them with the IPsec for VPN and SSH when they try to remote into here. So go ahead and click save. And like I said, we're going to create one more. Go to username, superadmin, because we like that name, superadmin. All right, so just give me 1 second. We'll bring my notes here because I do want to copy and paste a lot of this stuff here. Because also, you see how this has capital S and capital A? I believe that actually means something in this, so we're going to find out. The super admin. Expiration date is never. This will be added to the admins group, and this will never be used for any form of SSH keys or that. This is pretty much so that we can actually dump the admin account. So the admin here, system administrator, we can actually go ahead and click on this, and user cannot log in anymore. That's actually a very good feature to have so that people can't just try to guess the admin, because everybody knows that the default on here is admin. So going ahead and clicking that while you go ahead and do anything makes it perfect. So now they can no longer log in or do anything. But for this video, I'm going to need the admin. And the reason why I need the admin is because with virtual, with the pFsense in the virtual environment like this, if you do disable the admin, sometimes the system goes a little haywire and you're unable to actually log in. I ran into it a few times doing these videos, so it does happen. Oops. So now we're going to go back into my VMware Advisor, the user we created. And then you can see here we have a few things here. They also added a user certificate and effective privileges. So this is inherited basically by groups. But if you want to just not bother with groups, as you can see they're not a member of a group, you can just go ahead and write in here and just say, let's see, which one do I want? All pages are pretty good. Now, if you hold down the control key, you can go ahead and pick a bit, any ones you really want. So I'm just going to go randomly just pick a bunch of these things because why not? You can also hold and drag, if you want, which Really wouldn't make any sense. You would just kind of want the web configuration for all the pages here. You'd want the basic user information or system for user settings, user management, user app privileges, or just basically system user management. So we're going to add a bunch of these things. We're just going to go, I'm just going to go randomly, just start clicking things. Whoops. So what happens if you randomly start clicking things? You got to start paying more attention. Let's see, what else in here? What else do we got here? All pages, dashboard, all the dashboard people say hey. Okay, and okay. I think I'm good enough here. Go ahead and hit save. And then it went ahead and add, oh, look at all them. So this is just pretty much, I added these. These aren't inherited from an actual admin. But when you go to the actual admin, the super user that we're going to go to in a second, so hit save. Hey, his inheritance comes from the admin's actual page. So, I'm sorry, the admin's group. So you can see here, it already actually added. We didn't add this at all. It automatically inherited it from this group. So let's go back over here to groups. Go to admins, system administrators. See? So assign privileges. So if you're a part of this group, okay, you will allow access to all pages. And if we want, I can go ahead and add a few more, which again really doesn't make much sense. But we're going to go and do this. Let me see. We'll make another group here. Go to group. Go to add group name. And we're going to do Diags. Okay, the reason why we're calling this Diags is they're only going to have access to the Diagnostics feature. So if you're a user with this group name, you can only access Diagnostics. You won't be able to change or do anything else into it. So only Diagnostics, because I don't know how to spell. And then we're going to hit save. So now I went ahead and did that. Go ahead and click the pencil here, because now we got to add some privileges. So you can see here, we have Diagnostics. Now with Diagnostics here, there isn't a all, so you just kind of got to go whoop. Now remember, with Diagnostics, there are a few things like backup and restore I don't want them to have. Don't want them authentication tape. I don't want them to be able to edit any files or do factory defaults. See, there are certain things in here in Diagnostics you want them to actually be able to touch, but not be able to. I do want them to be able to reboot the system if it's terribly broken, check the status, shows tracking. There's probably other things in here. Probably don't want them looking at, but I believe everybody understands the point of this. So go ahead and hit OK, and it just goes and adds all the Diagnostics. Perfect. We're going to go ahead here, and you know what? Might as well add you to the Diags. Username is Mike. I like the guy, Mike. Mike's a new guy. His name is... full name is Michael. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and click save. And as you can see here, when I go back to Mike, he's been giving all diagnostic status because he is a part of the diagnostic membership. Go ahead and hit save. So now I just want to make sure that these things actually work. Now remember, admin is lowercase. VMware Advisor is lowercase. Super admin and Mike are not. So we're going to see how well that works out for us. And I'm really hoping that it's not going to do what it's done to me in the past, where it just cancels out all the users. Now you also have this section here, which is all users, and you can go ahead and add basic things to them. Like we'll just add like notices. We'll just say. So if you're an actual user, you automatically get those two features. So again, go here. And it should, yep, see? Inherited from all, there they are. And as you can see here, inherited from, it doesn't tell me where it's from. It just says, hey, you just got these on your own. But when I go over here to Mike, all inherited from Diagnostics and now inherited from all. So when you're building your pFsense box, you do want to make sure you do a very good group management, understand who's going to access it, who touches it. Never give somebody full-blown access unless you're an administrator, or a senior administrator, CTO, whatever it may be in your list. Always create a second admin so that if you ever make a mistake or you lock yourself out of the admin account here, you cancel this admin, you have another one to get into. But enough talking, because I'm pretty sure you people want to see me log in. So I'm going to go ahead. So there's a VMware Advisor, all lowercase. Go ahead and log in. And bam. I'm here. Let's see. Okay, I can do interfaces, LANs, GIFs, bridges. I don't know why anybody has a GIF. Firewall. Oops. Rules. Go ahead and mess around with the LAN, with all the firewall rules. I can add rules. So you can see I have some pretty good super user pass, capabilities here. Diagnostics, backup and restores. Go down to updates. So I can do a system update. And yes, I am very well outdated on this, and I'm not really caring. Now, the only thing that I've noticed an issue with is when I go to user management. In this case being, you can only change your password and confirm. The admin, I believe, is the only one that's allowed to actually create users and delete users. All right, so if you actually go ahead and want to disable your admin account, make sure you're fully aware that you're going to have some issues. So also, I've been told that actually issue does happen more often in this environment, in your virtual environment. So in the actual real world environment, you shouldn't have that problem, because I don't remember having that problem. So again, same thing. So when you go down to user management, so no matter what user you add, no matter how much of their login as a super admin, they still just want you to just change and confirm your passwords. All right, so it's a little bit of a bummer. I get it. But I do believe that's only actually a bug for this scenario that we're doing it with. It's actually not a real world experience, I guess I would say. But nonetheless, as you can see here, we'll go ahead and type in super admin, but I'm going to use the lowercase a. Username and password's incorrect because you must use whatever you typed in as a username. It is case sensitive. So again, we type in Mike, but if I make it a lowercase m, it doesn't work. Capital. And look at that. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, I don't know what the heck I can do here, because I don't actually have dashboard capabilities, which I probably have to go add here. But nonetheless, I can pretty much do all my diagnostics I gave, but you can see backup's not here. So whatever I didn't allow to it is not showing up, and I can only see what I need to see. So in this case being, we're going to go ahead and log back out. Log back in as this guy. Give me 1 second. Perfect. Log back in as a VMware. And you can see I have everything's all back to me. Again, only bummer is the user management, but it's not a big deal breaker for me. Log back out. Okay. And as you can see, go down to user management, everything's back. Again, not too sure why it does it, but it is what it is for the time being. I do believe it's just a bug that they have with it. All right, so now I want to go up to Mike, because remember, we have all the diagnostics. Let me go ahead and add this, because he needs to see the dashboard and has direct access to the dashboard. Okie dokie. And you can see here, we just add those two features randomly to it. So I didn't have to add through a group. I just said, hey, Mikey does need those, so let me just add them to them. But you can add them as a group as well. And you can actually make groups like that. So if you want to make a diagnostic group, dashboard group in this, because there are maybe some people you don't want to see the dashboard. I don't know why, but you wouldn't. So again, just to verify that it worked, there you go. So I can go ahead and see the dashboard. I can actually add and change things on the dashboard. So if I want to add this, man, I probably wouldn't do that with any old user, but just for this video. And again, he has everything here he needs. So if he wants to go check out states, packet capturing information from the WAN, pretty much all diagnostics that he was given before. And we go to status, you can go to dashboard, brings you right back to it. System, it can only log out. All right, so I think I went over enough of the user management and group management. I think everybody's got the idea at this point. So what we're going to do is we got to do the notifications. So we go to advanced and notifications. Okay, so in here, this is something you really want to do. All right, you're an admin. You have let's say you have like 5 or 6 of these out in the wild and everything, multiple different sites. And you got to make sure they're up and running at all times. You don't want the customer or your client or anybody to call you and say, my internet's down. You want to be notified beforehand. So when they call you and say, my internet's not working, yes, we do have that information and we're working diligently right now to get it up and running for you. You want to be proactive, and this will help you be proactive. So in this video, you can set it up with any one of your emailing clients. If you have Microsoft, your own personal from your own website. In this case, I'm just going to use Gmail because I already have a Gmail up and running, so it makes it very simple. So a lot of stuff I'm going to do is just quickly copy and paste because I really don't want to spend too much time with that. Okay, 465. Getting too old for this. Connection timeout, the default's 20, so I'm going to leave it at 20, or you don't have to put anything in there. Everything requires SSL. Okay, now the from email address is your Gmail account. Well, in my case, it's Gmail. You could be anything you want. Okay, so I want from here. That's the email we're going to get. Okay, I have to enter pretty much it 3 times. You want the from email, the notification email, where it's coming from, the email, and that. All right, now we need the password. This is not my password for it, and I don't care. All right, so make sure you have your password. Now, again, if you're using two-factor like I am with all my email accounts, you're going to have to go on to, for example, Gmail and get your @password. This will not work if you have two-factor turned on with Gmail and you're like, hey, I want my thing to work, because it's not going to take your normal password. You're going to have to install your @password. Again, you get that right from your Gmail account. You can go ahead and set that up. Now from here, you can go ahead and pretty much do how you want to do your notifications. I'm more likely using plain, but again, as it says right here, some servers like Exchange or 365 require a login. So it all depends on what you want to do. Go ahead and hit plain, hit test. And I'm going to get this error because, unfortunately, not because of anything else of that, my password's completely incorrect because I don't have my @password ready to go. But in a second, when you hit test SMP, you'll get a green bar up here saying successful as long as everything has been inputted correctly and you're using the correct password. Over here, you have your sounds, your startup sounds, and that's a preference, and that's really has nothing to do with notifications outside of, if you're available. So if you're by the system, you want to hear beep, and the system would beep on and off when you log in and, start up, shut down, log in and out, you can. I don't have any interest in it. And the same thing with Grawl notifications. That's another setup that if you want to register for Grawl, you can. And then from there, you will just fill out all your information for your Grawl notifications. But we're just going to use basic email because that's what we're going to want. We want email coming to us. Go ahead and hit save. And that's it. So once you go in here and you correct everything all set up and you have everything set the way as I have it set up here, okay, you will actually receive an email, in this email box, obviously. Okay. And then from there, you'll get your information that, hey, this is, from pFsense, or in my case, it would say my whole domain, pfsense.moddiablo.com. Let me see if I have that somewhere written here. Yep. So pfsense.moddiablo.com. So I would get that in my text messages, my subject, saying notification for this, firewall, there's an issue, or no issues, everything's good, because it will also send you good notifications too, letting you know that nothing's been going on. Okay, and pretty much that is all we have to do with today's thing. So just to go a quick recap here, under user management, we did create a basic user, which is basic diagnostics. We created a brand new super user. Okay, we got rid of the admin account, which I'm terrified to do, but hey, let's go ahead and do this. Why not? What do I got to lose here at this point? Okay, except, what do I got to lose about this? Except I won't be able to actually change any passwords with this. But if you want to, and everything like that, you would have to go in here. But I recommend anything you do, back up and restore. You also do have basic, backups that you normally do with this. But what I normally do, if you're going to do anything crazy on here, add some VLANs, change VPNs, do some user management and some crazy stuff, back everything up. Just back it all up, download to it. And if you have anything with that, we'll go back over here. When you're in here, restore recent configuration, and you can do it from file, okay, or you can actually do it from one of the previous backups you saw before there. Sometimes what I do is I just do a recent configuration from like a day or two ago, and then just re-upload my backup that I made today. Sometimes a little bit more of a pain, but it is what it is. And that's everything. So I hope everybody learned something today. I hope you guys are now locking down your pFsense boxes and getting everything all ready to go. And I think my next video is probably going to be the VPN. It's either going to be VPN or VLAN. I'm still up in the air with this. The only issue I have with my VLAN is I need a layer 3 switch, and I actually don't have one at the moment. So it's kind of hard to show you a full VLAN setup with this without having that switch, but we'll give it a try. So like always, guys, I'm happy you guys joined in. Hope somebody learned something today, and I'll see you next time.